Deanna. I am here with a third layout in my series called Use It or Lose It. And this is basically a series where I am trying to use up some of my most favorite supplies or things that I want to use up in this period where I'm waiting for a pre-order to come in. I had ordered some supplies from a Cherry on Top, and it's items from CHA, so was really hoping to try and use up some of the stuff that I had at home before receiving that order. And I do have a video on my channel explaining all of the reasons behind what I'm doing here. So, and I have been using sketches for the layouts that I've been doing lately. An image of the sketch for this layout is right here. And this is actually called, I found it on Pinterest, and it's a Allison Davis sketch called Sketch Week 2 with Simple Stories. That's all I could find for the name of it. But for this one, I used it mostly as just a real quick guide. I didn't copy it exactly, but the sketch really helped me figure out where to kind of lay my the block of photos. So I'm scrapbooking some pictures that we took in the beginning of 2015, and they are we went to the Danish Windmill in Iowa, and it was during a trip that we were taking. We had driven to Kansas for a funeral, and on the way back we stopped at a couple of places just to kind of break up the trip, and this was just one of the stops that we made. And it was pretty awesome. Like, you could go inside the windmill and, go up the steps up to the top. You could actually go way up to the top. And I managed, even though I was really scared, I managed to get myself to go up to the top. But what was really cool was there's just all sorts of trinkets and stuff around. And this one was behind glass. It was the windmill, and it was made out of Legos. So it was pretty cool. So I got a couple pictures of that, and that's what I'm scrapbooking. For the colors in this, they're mostly just yellow and pink and grays. And I liked the idea of the globes just because, we were traveling. And I like the color of that banner. I don't like the saying for this layout, so I'm going to end up covering that up. And I cut this one out that says the best things in life are not things. And so, because I love road trips, it's one of my most favorite things to do, like on vacation. If we're actually going to be leaving or something, or like trying to find something fun to do, I love road trips. I would pick that over getting on a plane and going somewhere. I can't even say far away because we've driven to Texas several times. So to me, that's pretty far. We took a road trip once to Corpus Christi and drove straight through. And, that was like, we were basically on the road for 24 hours. We took like a nap a few times. And, but yeah, I love road trips. So I don't have a ton of journaling to do on this page. So I'm keeping that in mind when I'm putting together, the embellishments and the paper layers. So I know that I just need a tiny space for journaling. And, I love to have a 1/4-inch border around my layout. And I couldn't figure out what I didn't like about this layout. And I kept looking at it and thinking, what was wrong? And I realized it's because I didn't have that backing sheet with the border. And as soon as I put this on there, I love the layout. It was like exactly what it needed. So I did that with white, and then which is, it matches the globes and the little word phrase there. One of the things that I showed, I think in the original video about the series, was these wood veneer letters that I got from a Studio Calico kit. And I didn't really think that I could make that many more phrases with it, if much at all. I think I had used it once on a layout ages ago, and had no idea that there was so many things I could actually use. And when I created the page kits, I went through and tried to figure out what letters I could use, and that helped a lot. And then, that helped me realize how many letters I actually had in there. And then I kept dumping them out and trying to figure out what letters I had. So then I ended up just writing them down on a piece of paper, which is what I showed a minute ago. And so I am trying to use those up during this series. I would like to not have that little container of those wood veneer anymore after this series. So just going through and trying to figure out what kind of embellishments I can put on the page. And, also I struggle a little bit with what I want to put above, because it says windmill there, but I want to say Danish windmill. And I was thinking black. I know I wanted smaller thickers, but the minute I put the black down, it completely takes away from the word windmill. And it's just simply because it's a light font or light color, and it's on top of kind of a busy background. And so, it's fine right now the way it is, but, if you put anything that is highly contrasting, it takes away from that. So I need to try and find something that you can still see it on top of that globe paper, but that doesn't take away from the windmill. So I dug and dug and dug, and I finally found these, which, oh my gosh, what a mess. They just kept falling and falling, and then they were sticking to my hand. But in the end, it was like the perfect thickers to use. So I'm glad that I got some use out of those, because those are not my favorite set of thickers. And you see my hand was shaking. It was because I had more stuck to my hand. But that works out perfect, because you can still see it, and it kind of blends in with the color of the letters windmill, and it doesn't take away from it. So, and these are not, even though they were sticking to my hands, they're not very sticky. So I definitely had to put some adhesive on the back of it. And I even noticed now I almost feel like sticking some glue on the back of it, some wet glue, because they're still kind of flopping around a little bit. They haven't fallen off, but I don't know if I trust it. So I took a globe sticker from, it's an older Amy Tan collection, I believe. I'm not even sure which one it's from, because I don't have the label for it. I had cut it off to make it fit in my drawer. And I'm just adding some foam dots to the back of it, so it'll pop up a little bit. And I'm trying to cover up that harsh edge there. And right next to the globe is where I plan to put my journaling. And that's all the space I need for that journaling. So there's that cork camera. I think I've tried to use that on like one or two other layouts. And it's going to get used on this one. I was trying to see if there was any more of those cork shapes that I could use, but I really felt like one was enough. The minute I started trying to put more on the page, to me it started looking gaudy. And I have no idea why I pulled those tags out. I knew they were too big for the layout. But I'm just trying to find anything, because I feel like the layout's kind of dark, and I wanna put more on it, but I just wasn't sure what, or even where, So then I was looking at these washi tape sheets, and the colors work okay for the most part, but I needed to find something that didn't blend too much into that globe paper. And so I found this one that's black with white dots, and I'm just putting that in there in 3 different spots. So kind of gives me the areas where I'm going to do my cluster of embellishments. All right, so I'm just showing that I did my journaling, and I picked the spot for that camera. And this is a Studio Calico chipboard sticker sheet, and it's black and white, which I love. when I get embellishments that are just black and white. And I'm putting, the one up there says rare and treasured. Just because I think going to see a windmill is just so different, you know. It's just not something that, I don't know, I've never seen a windmill before in person, so that was pretty cool. And then I'm going to use stars, some wood veneer stars, and I wanted to put a star in the middle of that camera, so, but I didn't want to use the same ones I was going to use in all the embellishment clusters, so I'm using one that it's like an open or an outline of a star, and all of the other ones are solid. And that's basically the end of the embellishments. The next thing I do is something that I'm really loving right now is I'm using the Dilutions white linen spray as splatters, and oh my gosh, it is so nice. I know Heidi Swapp has a white and it's kind of glimmery or shimmery, but it's not white. And I've had other ones too before, probably, you know, maybe a Mr. Huey's or something like that, and it doesn't dry white. This stuff though, it dries white. Like it's like somebody went and took paint and put it on your page, but it doesn't smear. It's not like chalky. So I went ahead and did that and let it dry, and I'm just going through some real quick. I guess I didn't let it dry. I saw that big old white splotch. But there's some still shots coming up here, so I guess that's the end of the video. That went really fast. So I will have another video up soon for this series, and so I will catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.